In this video, we're going to look at a different kind of mechanical energy system. Just like with the golf ball and the coffee filter, this system involves both kinetic and potential energy. However, there are two kinds of potential energy at play here. Gravitational potential energy certainly is a factor, but there's another kind of potential energy. That is called spring potential energy. Recall that when we held the coffee filter above the floor, we gave it gravitational potential energy, and as it fell, that potential energy was converted into kinetic energy. In this case, when we pull this spring down, we're putting energy into the spring itself. This is called spring potential energy. If we let it go, the spring bounces up and down. How do we take into account gravity in this situation? If we remove the mass from this spring, the spring contracts to this length. This is what is known as the equilibrium length of the spring. If we put the mass back on the spring stretches out. One way we could analyze this is by considering both the gravitational potential energy of this mass and the spring potential energy in the spring itself. However, there's another way to do this. Instead of thinking about this spring as having potential energy because it's been stretched, we can just pretend that this length is its new equilibrium length. This means that for the purposes of our analysis, this spring has no potential energy at the moment. It turns out that if we do this, we can neglect the gravitational potential energy entirely. The change in gravitational potential energy due to the addition of the mass exactly cancels out the change in the potential energy of the spring itself as it stretches. We can reimagine this system then as only involving kinetic energy and spring potential energy. Just like in the gravitational case, the potential energy system and the kinetic energy system will be exchanging energy as the spring oscillates. However, unlike in the gravitational case, this is a two-way street. The kinetic energy is being converted to potential energy and then back to kinetic energy as the spring oscillates.